Miriam gestures for Greta to come, and Greta glances at her before following her down the street. The town is quiet now when the sun sets, but the empty streets no longer fill Miriam with dread. They found another book, and maybe tomorrow they will find how they can stop the wolves from entering the forest and breaking into the town. The town will not be quiet forever. They will find a way, and she will once more become their protector. She glances at Greta walking next to her. She doesn't know what has changed, and why Greta is suddenly friendly, but she assumes shock can do that to you. Her invitation yesterday surprised her, but spending the evening with her was oddly comforting. She watches the familiar houses lining the road, her town, with the citizens she belongs to, when Greta suddenly takes her hand in hers. Miriam looks at her, surprised, and Greta looks away, but doesn't let go of her hand. Miriam smiles at the unexpected gesture, feeling the warmth of a friend in her hand. She only drops it as she steps inside the house. They must have forgotten to put on a log on the fire as they left in the morning, because the house that greets them is cold, and she shivers and hurries over to the stove. She kneels down before the burner, opens the shutter, when a sudden chill runs up her spine. She freezes. They come back. She drops the log and rushes out the kitchen. Come! She sprints along the street, listening for any sound of the wolves, but the town is quiet. She stops, then turns and runs towards the forest. She can hear Greta running behind her, calling for her, but she ignores her and comes out on the street leading to the meadow. It lies deserted, the faint moonlight casting its silvery light over the cobblestones. She glances around, then sprints forward and crosses the bridge. She's barely taking a step onto the meadow when she's knocked to the ground. A black shape tumbles over her, and she slides over the damp grass. She scrambles up, but the wolf leaps and lands its paw on her chest and pins her down. It bares its teeth, and she opens her mouth to scream when a shot is fired and the animal howls in pain and flees. Greta rushes over to her. Are you okay? She takes hold of her arm, and Miriam struggles up. Greta glances around, her revolver raised, but when the meadow is cleared, she turns to her. You shouldn't have done it. Miriam opens her mouth to reply when she hears the hunter's horn sounds in the distance. She freezes. Didn't the wolves leave? She lets go of Greta and runs, rushing back over the bridge and along the street. Were there more? And she missed them after all. She scans the streets frantically as she runs through the town, but in every house, the windows lie dark. She rounds a corner and comes out by the mayor's house and stops. The hunters are gathered outside, a flaming torch held high in preparation to leave. The mayor shrieks as he sees her and shambles over to her. You're unhurt. He throws his arms around her. It's okay, she's safe, he calls out to the hunters. Greta runs up to them and halts, panting. What is happening? I found something, he says. He ushers them inside and leads them to his office, where he opens up the book he took from the tower. He reads aloud. Then another protector went missing. Their house was empty, and they were nowhere to be seen. The day after, they found his missing body in the forest. No one understood what had happened to him, and why he would have left his house in the night when he knew the wolves were out there. He closes the book and turns to Miriam. I sent someone to look for you, but you weren't there. I called for the hunters. But she stops mid-sentence, a creeping dread coming over her. They are here again. She stands up. Come! The mayor takes hold of her hand. No, he whispers. Don't. Miriam stares at his grip. They can manipulate the spells. What do you mean? She glances at the door, but he points to a passage in the book. Greta leans over and reads it. They seem to be able to pass the spells unnoticed, and then trigger them by will. Greta looks at the mayor. What does that mean? He sighs. I don't know yet, but Miriam's magic isn't working as expected any longer. The wolves break through and lure her out, using the connection she has with the spells. Miriam hesitantly sits down. You can't trust your magic any longer, the mayor tells her. What shall I do then? He hesitates for a moment. Break the spells, my love. They will only confuse you. But then we are unprotected. We are unprotected already. She goes silent. She can't. The spells are the only things she knows. The only way she can still be their protector. Miriam. She turns and stares out the dark window. The mayor puts a hand on her, but she barely notices his touch. She's never heard of a town not being defended by the spells. What if it will get worse? Greta asks. We don't know. I can't, Miriam whispers. What if something happens to the town? She will no longer be their protector. She will no longer belong to this town if she breaks them. Greta puts an arm around her, and the mayor gets up and leaves, murmuring that they need something warm to drink. What if he's right? Greta asks. Miriam doesn't answer. She can't break the spells. She needs to be there for the town. Greta doesn't press, and they sit quietly until the mayor returns with a tray of tea. This will make us feel better. He puts it on the desk and hands them each a cup. Miriam takes it, sips the hot liquid, and stares out the dark window. She doesn't belong here if she cannot do her duty. Even if she didn't fail them, she has no place in this town if there are no spells. She can hear Greta and the mayor talking, but no words reach her, and she watches the dark sky outside the window. Miriam? She looks up. Greta is watching her, and the mayor puts a hand on her arm. Are you okay, my love? She nods, not sure what to answer. We should rest, Greta concludes, and the mayor puts down his cup. You'll stay here tonight. I'll help you set the bed. He leaves, and Greta glances at Miriam. You'll feel better tomorrow, she tries. Miriam mumbles in reply, and the mayor comes back, carrying a straw mattress in his arms. They help him lay it on the floor and cover it with blankets that Greta fetches. He wishes them a good night, then turns off the light, and Miriam and Greta climb into bed. Miriam stares up at the unfamiliar ceiling, feeling Greta's hand in hers. Who will she be if she's no longer their protector?